important for funding as well. They're important, in various countries to, go to your national sports governing body and say, this is where we're ranked in the world. This is why we need more support. Sheikh goes inside out over Rextra. He's got it wide of the man at long off, who does really well out there. Might be Rafiola, who's going to keep it to just a single. That's, 3-run save, not just 1-run save. Outstanding stuff.
He's very wide out there, isn't he, Lenny? I was surprised before the beginning of this over. He's very, very wide out there at long off, but the right call from Akabilias.
The world as this is edged away, going to be 4, going to go down to Dipendra Singh Airi. He might even do the fielding himself. One of the Omani players helps him out. Bit of fortune for Dev Canal. That's the highest any Nepal player has ever been ranked in any format in any way, and it shows his value. He's only behind Liam Livingston of England, and look at the company he's keeping. Marcus Stoinis, Sikander Raza, Winindo, Hasaranga De Silva, Mohammed Nabi, all beneath him. Dipendra Singh Airi, what a player.
He's an exceptional player and a very important player for Nepal. And the one thing I'll say, Lenny, it's the impact that he makes in just such short bursts. 22 for 1 now after 2.
Seva is giving back to the community, making sure that the community is taken care of. We do a lot of that at our temples and in the Punjabi community, and that's how I see the store. So it's a no-frills thing to do.
Yeah, so that was breaking news this morning, and it's lit up the news agencies across Nepal. The highest any Nepalese player has ever been ranked in any of the ICC rankings, and you think traditionally, as this one just goes above the outside edge, a little bit of extra bounce from Kalimullah, how difficult it has been for some of the associate sides players to get up in those rankings. But that's quite remarkable. Dipendra Singh Airi, second best player in the world according to the official ICC methodology.
Well, I think it's even more impressive when you see the run the squad's been on. They haven't won for a while before they won. They beat Oman the other day. So they hadn't won for a while. And just his performance is a testament to the mental fortitude of somebody like a Dipendra Singh Airi as well, to remain consistent even when the team's not doing well and try and rise above the performances of the team and try and bring the team alongside with you. And we could just tell the other day, unfortunate yesterday, but that game against Oman, just the 5 balls that he faced really helped them get into that bowling lineup and made it an increasingly impact.
3 in a row. Asif Sheikh missing out upon. It's probably going to be a bit tricky, isn't it? Will the bounce be a tiny bit inconsistent?
Yeah, it looks so early on in this game, doesn't it? Especially from Kalimullah, who's a tall man, so you expect him to get bounce. But we saw in the last over to Anil Shah the loud LBW appeal, just keeping a little bit low. It wasn't full of length. So again, it is tricky, and it looks like Asif Sheikh there, just struggling a little bit here in the first 3 balls of this Kalimullah over.
This time, he cashes in. He's finally judged the bounce nicely. It's got it all the way for 6. Again, remember, that's the shorter side of the ground today. Probably not in full control, but gets enough of it to get the maximum.
Asif Sheikh says, forget the offside. I'm going to go towards the leg side. It's probably around a similar line to the first 3 deliveries. So not much wrong from the delivery, but just different approach from Asif Sheikh there, and it goes all the way for 6.
I think you can definitely see there's been a conversation at Nepal's end about going at it in the power play. They've actually probably, in this T20 series, they've probably managed the power plays the best of all the opening batters. The problem for them is actually being outside of that, playing the spinners from kind of 6 to 14. It's been an issue, isn't it? And you look at yesterday, from the 9th over to the 14th over, you might look at the end and say, oh, well, they've lost the game in the last 3 with their death bowling. But actually, if you go back to the root cause of that defeat, 70 for none after 9, 5 overs later, they're 84 for 4. Okay, it was slightly turning conditions. But Nepal, who face so much spin, they have to be better than that in those middle overs.
I think the important part there is they've got a couple of left-handers as well, so they can leverage both sides of the wicket when you think about it. Left-hander hitting to the short side from the other end, and the right-hander hitting the short side. That's something they did well against Oman the other day and just weren't able to capitalize against Canada yesterday.
It is bizarre, though, isn't it, to think of Nepal struggling against spin, how much they face back home. 3 have been bowled now. It's 29 for 1.
Seva is giving back to the community, making sure that the community is taken care of. We do a lot of that at our temples and in the Punjabi community, and that's how I see the store. It's the no-frills thing to do.
So halfway through the power play, Shakil Ahmed is going to continue. He's done a really good job, hasn't he, throughout this series? Real competitor too. Arslan, back in your playing days, you were someone who definitely got a bit exuberant on the field. I think I've got that on very good repute. Do you empathise and then love the way in which Shakil Ahmed and Kalimullah shows such passion?
I think it's important. You've got to have passion. You're playing for your country at the end of the day, Lenny. I don't know who you've been speaking to, but I'll have a word with them later.
Multiple reports, just for the record. Multiple. Yeah, they might think of a second here. Reminder, it's 68 metres out to that boundary. Yeah, that's not a particularly wise piece of cricket. Khalid Kale, he's almost on the rope. And that's a long way out square, the wicket out towards Dufferin Street. And that should have been a single. They've turned it into 2. Good thinking from Nepal.
I think also Zishan Maksudi did not react at all there. He turned around, thought he was going to go all the way. But again, so much overnight rain. Long way for Khalid Kale to come in.
Oh, it's another edge. Dev Canal. Oh, he's living very dangerously, and he's living very luckily right now. It's going to be Sandeep Lamachana who does the fielding down there, I think, and almost teases. Who is it there? Excuse me, it's Kashyap Prajapati, who was just teased by the ball. Canal hasn't looked in control, has he? But he gets another boundary.
You got to ride your luck. When it's your day, it's your day. And right now, it's going Dev Canal's way. He got beat by the inside edge, found the outside edge a couple of times, and the 2 outside edges, they haven't gone to the fielder, they've gone to the boundary.
It's almost goaded in there, wasn't he, Sandeep Lamachani? Come on, you can get it. One thing I've been so struck by, I always am, when I go around the associate-only events, so many of these players off the field, from different backgrounds, different nations, they're incredibly close friends.
It's the modern way, isn't it? Especially with the rise of the T20 and T10 leagues around the world. Just saw the end of the Zim Afro T10, the GT20 here. Rohit Paudel, Sandeep Lamichhane, not Dev Canal, Deepinder Singh Airi. Yep. They were up here. So you start to see these players coming together. Jatinder Singh played here last year. We've seen Ayan Khan come up as well. Zishan Maksud plays in minor league cricket at times as well. So you see them traveling around.
Yeah, that's better. I don't mind that from Canal. I know he hasn't got it, but if he did get all of that, that would have been 4. It's going to be a single to round out a 8-run fourth over. Nepal off to a good start despite the loss of Anil Shah. It's 37 for 1.
TD is supporting cricket in more ways than ever. Because we believe Canada needs more cricket. Azad! TD, ready for you.
So the best part of 10 runs per over Nepal have started at, and we're going to see the first change of bowling. Ahmed Fayez Butt will come into the attack. As just a little bit of treatment from Vikram Naponi. I think he's just applying some strapping. He's been ever present in every single one of the games that Oman have played thus far. Ahmed Fayez Butt has generally had a good time of things. Really, him and Kalimullah have had to step up, haven't they, because of the absence of Bilal Khan.
As you see Mehran Khan walking right in front of us. He didn't have the best of time in the ODIs, but we thought we'd see him here. It's really been on the shoulders of Ahmed Fayez Butt and Kalimullah. He said he's had a good time of it. He hasn't looked too happy in any of the games, has he? He's looked like he's been struggling, but he's bowled well.
Yeah, it's a funny one for Mehran Khan because he's almost played his way out of the T20 team through his ODI form, which doesn't make much sense. Could maybe say the same about Aaron Johnson. A couple of strange selections, I've got to say, from Oman and Canada. Just get a very quick look here at the points table. Just want to explain exactly the permutations as to what's going on. For Nepal to still win the series, they have to win today. But were Oman to win today, it basically sets up a winner-takes-all grand final tomorrow.
Yeah, it's all to play for still for all three of these sides. Nepal, they're going to need some help tomorrow in the game. And if they beat Oman here today, it's really going to come down to net run rate. They've put themselves in a decent position. But for Oman...
The funny thing is as well, Arslan, sorry to cut you off, is that if Nepal beat Oman today and Oman beat Canada tomorrow, that would be the replication of the results from the first round set of the round robin. And it would also mean, I think Nepal would then be heavy favourites. Because from a net run rate perspective, we'll get just one more look at it here. You would think unless there's some extraordinary results, like let's say you'd have to have a really close game today, and then you'd have to see Oman win quite well tomorrow against Canada. But you think if Nepal could win today, Oman could win tomorrow, it could well end up with Nepal being champions.
Yeah, and I think the important part from an Oman standpoint is it's in their hands. They don't have to rely on any results tomorrow. They just got to win. It's pretty simple for them. For Nepal, they're in a strong position if they win here today. But Oman's going to know what they're going to need tomorrow. That's the other part. You need to get them in 10 overs. You go get them in 10 overs.
I think we'll probably see the entire nation of Nepal becoming Omani fans for the day tomorrow if they can win today.
After this game today, buddy. You got to finish this game today.
Not today, but tomorrow. All of a sudden, they'll be changing those blue shirts into red ones.
You reckon the Nepal squad will be here tomorrow with their Omani shirts on? You said they're friends? They're all friends?
Yeah, one of the interesting things as well, I only found this out a couple of days ago, Nepal are actually going to stay on. So they're going to stay on, and God, it's going to be chilly, but they're going to play 3 50-over games against, you'll probably know better.
Against Canada A, the A squad.
But it's going to be kind of a select 11, isn't it? They're going to bring a few people in.
Yeah, so they've been playing a couple of games over this week. They played a game yesterday, the HP Jaguars versus, I believe, the HP Tigers or Wolves. It's a lot of cats and dogs up here in Canada for some odd reason. But they played a game yesterday. It's a little bit of a selection game, and they're going to play again, I believe, tomorrow. And then the series starts on Friday, Lenny. It's a 3-game series, Friday, Sunday, Tuesday. A day off in between all 3 games.
Oh, this has gone miles up. Not sure whether deep mid-wicket is going to be able to get there. He's not, and it plugs in the outfield. It's only going to be a couple, but the aggression continues. It's very clearly a ploy from Nepal in the power play. A little bit too full from Ahmed Faya's butt gets away with it. Only 2 runs to the total.
And just to finish the point there, Lenny, I think it's smart from Nepal as well. They're heading straight down to the States after this, aren't they? They've got a big series coming up there, World Cricket League 2 games. The T20s before the World Cricket League 2 this time around.
Yeah, 17th, 19th, 20th of October. That'll be at the Grand Prairie Stadium, that remarkable facility that Major League have. I only visited it for the first time this year, and I'd heard good reports from last year, but I hadn't managed to get there yet myself. As this is edged away for 4. There's a man out at deep third, but he's incredibly square, so this goes fine. Faya's butt will feel as though he's unlucky, but it's 4 more to the total.
Yeah, Dev Canal, he's been riding his luck, but Asif Sheikh on this occasion, top edge, back of a length, and just looking to heave this over the leg side. Luckily for him, top edge over the keeper, in between keeper and gully, you'd say, for 4.
Yeah, I think they're clearly targeting that shorter boundary, aren't they? Even though that's not where the ball is ending up sometimes. But yeah, that Major League facility is quite something. Just to look at the dimensions, 60 metres out to that leg side. That's why they're targeting it. It's because we've come all the way to the left as you look now on the square, and much bigger out on the offside. Yeah, this has gone miles up. Asif Sheikh could pay the price for playing across the line, and he does. At the Vele, does the business with the gloves. It was a simple catch in the end, and Faya's butt might have conceded 1 boundary in unfortunate fashion. And Sheikh just didn't learn his lesson, did he? And he is going to fall. Another batter getting in and getting out for Nepal.
Yeah, Asif Sheikh, he wanted to keep targeting that leg side, didn't he, Lenny? And on this occasion, just a better line on this occasion. The length is very similar to the ball before, but into the body. And Asif Sheikh can only manage to get that straight up in the air, and Atavale doesn't make a mistake.
Actually, just the tiniest bit of shape from Ahmed Faya's butt that's had an impact on that dismissal. Asif Sheikh falls for 16 off 14 deliveries, and with 5 overs bowled now, the score, it moves to 44 for 2.
The all-new Nissan Kicks. Ready for whatever you're into. Get your kicks.
Welcome back to all of the action. Nepal losing their 2nd wicket just before the end of that over. 44 for 2 after 5. Currently going on that 8 over mark, or 8 runs and over mark, I should say. Matt, good morning. How are you? Or good afternoon. We had a delayed start today.
We did. It's sweater weather here on the cricket pitch. I see you got your parka on. Lenny has his toque on. He said he doesn't have any hair to keep his head warm, so he needs a toque.
I've seen him moisturize his head, actually.
With that dry fall air, I can imagine.
Well, Shakil Ahmed coming in for his 3rd over. Kushal Malla walking out. That's going to be 5 wides. Poor delivery first stop from Shakil Ahmed. Well down leg. And they'll take these extra runs, Nepal. What do you think of the start so far?
Pretty good. You're trying to take advantage of these first 6 overs, the power play. Getting 4 freebies right there will help that cause. 5 freebies, excuse me. Still learning the rules, folks.
Yeah, so because that was a wide, it went behind the batter. It's a wide that's gone for 4 runs, so it's 5 runs off that delivery, and he's got to re-bowl it.
This is like a double whammy, triple whammy.
Triple whammy. You don't want to be bowling those.
They have Press Your Luck in Canada, the game show that the double whammy phrase originates from. For everybody listening, everybody's heard the phrase double whammy. It's from a game show called Press Your Luck that was popular, I think, in the 80s. I'm showing my age here with this.
Yeah, I was going to say I'm born in the 80s. So I didn't realize that was from a game show.
It is. It's an awesome game show, too. Definitely recommend it. They got those internet stations that show all the old shows from the 80s and 90s.
Yes.
Look it up. Press Your Luck.
Okay, I will look it up.
I'm
going to add it to the list that I've got going on from everything I need to check out. That Lenny's asked me to check out.
Oh, I'm sure.
Well, big toss to win here for Oman. They won. They said they could have a bowl first. We did start an hour later, which means the conditions have had a little bit of time to settle down.
Yeah, especially with the sun out, drying things out.
But those of you watching, do not be deceived by the sun. It is nowhere as warm as it looks on your screen. It's actually sitting about 16 degrees at the moment with a cool breeze.
Especially in the shade where we are.
Exactly. Typical fall weather now.
My favorite kind of weather.
Is that your favorite season, the fall?
Without a doubt. I love the foliage. I love the cool, crisp air. I run hot.
Well, there you have a shot of how beautiful it looks here. The sun's shining, light blue skies with a few white clouds.
It's 3 swings in a row with no contact.
Excellent over this. After the 5 wides, he pulls it back. Shakil Ahmed. It's going to be the end of the 6th over and the end of the power play. Nepal 50 for 2.
The new A&W Ruffles Crunch Teen Burger.
Let's go.
Juicy grass-fed beef, topped with Ruffles cheddar and sour cream chips.
Let's go!
Try the new A&W Ruffles Crunch Teen Burger. Let's go.
Second last game of this No-Frills T20 Cup. And it's an important one. Nepal have to win today to stay in the contest. And then wait to see for the outcome from tomorrow's game. Oman, got to win today, got to win tomorrow to claim this No-Frills T20 Cup.
Yeah, you couldn't ask for a more exciting finish to the series. This is what you want. Everybody's still in it going into the last 2 matches.
They had a bit of a shocker, didn't they, Nepal, yesterday? They really had the game in their hands, and then Saad Zafar came in towards the end and just completely snatched that win away from them. Some incredible batting from him. The rain as well coming in about 3 o'clock. It was an interesting period. Yeah,
I mean, the one thing I've learned watching and broadcasting my first cricket series ever is how unpredictable it is, how fast momentum changes. You think it's going to be a certain result, and then at the snap of the fingers, everything shifts.
Faya's butt to continue. I've seen a few decent-looking shots from Nepal. Unfortunate to have lost that early wicket today. Losing an opener early can always happen. They've had a good stand between their 2 openers in mostly every game that they've played in this T20 series.
Yeah, they really have. They've come out sharp. It's a matter of maintaining that throughout the match. It takes a tremendous amount of focus. I was talked earlier in basketball, we say it's a 48-minute game. I mean, you go 2-3 minutes and you have a mental lapse. That's the difference between winning and losing. It's no different with this cricket series. Only 20 overs. You cannot afford any mental lapses.
Oh, using his feet down the track.
Woo, felt the breeze on that one. He went for it.
He got all of the breeze and none of the ball on that one.
Might have to borrow Lenny's toque with the wind chill factor.
As he gives it to you.
He knows what a toque is, at least.
Yeah, I did teach him that, yes. It was 2 years ago that lesson came out.
The first time you said toque, what did he think you were referring to?
Actually, sure. I think he was pretty confused. Lenny says he thought I meant bum. Well, it might run away to the boundary, and it does.
Nice.
Not where he intended that to go, but he'll pick up the boundary here.
I was going to say a lot of unintentional success by this Nepal batting team so far. And they'll take it. Every run counts.
Yeah, dealing with thick edges here, Nepal today. This one going just in front of the fielder at third man.
It's amazing to me just the physics of that shot, because it's almost like they make contact and it goes backwards, but it goes backwards faster than the pitch was coming in somehow.
Pick up a single here. Yeah, actually, it makes it quite tricky when you're fielding at the point position as well, because the ball's always going to turn away from you after it pitches. You have to be careful of that spin.
Yep.
And judge your approach to fielding the ball accordingly.
You got to pick the right angle. It almost reminds me of American football, where you take a line when you're trying to tackle someone in the open field based on their speed and angle, but instead of tackling a person, you're tracking the ball down. Team Nepal really coming out aggressive in those first 6 overs, swinging for the fences and being rewarded.
That's a good bouncer, that, from Fayez, but hitting the deck hard. Kushamala ducks out of the way.
Yeah, would have been in concussion protocol with that.
The end of the 7th over, Nepal 55 for 2.
Team Nepal really showing that shift in their mentality, coming out extra aggressive. In the past, known to play a little more conservative, especially in those first 6 overs in the power play, but really trying to coach these guys up mentally to come out and take advantage of that, be more aggressive, look for more boundaries, and definitely be rewarded for taking those risks today.
Well, it's a low full toss, and this might be a wicket. He's gotten a wicket.
And of course, as soon as I say that, that happens. That's how we call that the broadcast jinx, Manali.
We call it the commentator's curse in cricket.
That's right.
And that's going to be 3rd wicket for Nepal. Unfortunate way to have gotten out on that delivery. And so often we do see low full tosses result in wickets. You're not expecting it. This one not timed well.
Definitely not. Good positioning by the Oman fielder. I mean, that was hit with pace, but just right where the fielder was.
Well, you're talking about all of the tactical changes for Nepal. They've worked well for them in the T20 series, actually. It's been quite a change from the 50-over approach. And sometimes when it's not working, you do need to look at changing the batting lineup, just changing which batter is going to come in at what point. It's paying off for Nepal. It has in the first 2 games.
Yeah, you see solid contact. I mean, if you hit it anywhere else in the field, that's a boundary, but
Shoaib Khan taking a good catch in the boundary.
Manali, you played a lot of cricket at national team level. Does it hurt your hands more when it's chilly like this?
Oh.
It seems like it would.
The worst to field in cold weather. Literally the worst. That's the skipper Akibilias, who comes in with the ball and picks up a wicket off his first delivery. Not the best of deliveries.
What's the coldest? What's the coldest they play cricket in? At what point are they like, nope, too cold?
I don't think we've really had a set temperature as
Below
to when
0?
it's too cold. You know what? I have seen some games being played I've heard of some games being played out in Alberta where the weather is like 2 or 3 degrees and the sun's shining. They're like, hey, there's no snow on the ground, let's go and play. But from a fielding perspective, that ball stings horribly on your fingers. Horribly. That's when you got to keep those warm, hot hand.
Those packets?
Those packets in your pockets.
Is it an advantage for a team who's used to the cold weather?
I don't think your fingers are meant to function.
But I mean, like for example, swing and a miss. For an example, we were at Raptors Media Day 2 days ago, interviewing Jacoby Walter, the Raptors first-round draft pick rookie, and I was like, "Are you ready for the Canadian winter?" And he's like, "I've only seen snow 3 times in my life." So that would be a no. So I wonder, like, you got a team from
Oman's
the
a pretty good
Caribbean,
example.
Oman, yeah, and they're playing in Northern Ireland or Canada in the fall. Are they just like freezing their butts off?
Yeah, it's an adjustment. It's also an adjustment the other way around.
Oh,
Down the ground and one bounce to the fielder.
I got Irish blood, red hair, fair skin. Grew up in New England. You made me play cricket in South Texas, in San Antonio, or in Florida. I wouldn't last 5 overs.
It is an adjustment. I mean, I can tell you, if our players from here have got to go play in Dubai or anywhere warm, it's an adjustment. Your lungs don't react the same way, and it's the same way when you come to the cold. I mean, if you're not used to it and you're not warmed up properly, we're going to get back to that thought because 8 overs gone. Nepal are 58 for 3.
Seva is giving back to the community and making sure that the community is taken care of. We do a lot of that at our temples and in the Punjabi community, and that's how I see the store. So it's a no-frills thing to do.
Well, back to the action and an interesting conversation here with Matt about how we cope with cold weather and vice versa.
Yeah.
I mean, the coldest I've ever played was about 3 years ago, my last game, playoff game, and it was about 8 degrees Celsius. Your joints are stiff. Your fingers do not want to feel the ball whatsoever. You're actually hoping the ball doesn't come to you.
Yeah, I mean, you're standing out there for a period of time, and all of a sudden you got a sprint. It's a pulled muscle waiting to happen. Another factor I'm curious about is altitude. In the NBA, we play in Denver, Colorado, which is a mile high, the mile high city they call it. In that first rotation, your lungs are just burning.
It's actually a question that I asked Rohit Podal, the skipper of Nepal, at one of the post matches. I'm like, do you think you have an advantage to the altitude because you're so much higher?
Yeah, I mean, the average altitude of Kathmandu is 1,370 meters.
He did agree that, yes, there's definitely an advantage there.
There is, but also this isn't like
a
an anaerobic sport.
Like, do you think you have an advantage?
Maybe if you're up to bat a long time and you're running back and forth, compared to basketball at least. But still, I mean, it can cause lightheadedness.
Trust me, when you're batting out there and you're running singles and doubles as often as you can, it very much tests your lungs.
Yep.
In fact, if you're not fit enough, you just start to notice that head starts to fall over a bit in your stance because you're still trying to catch your breath before the next ball. Never a good feeling.
No, and it affects your batting. It's like in basketball. If you're tired, it affects your shooting.
Zishan Maksud coming in from the pavilion end, and they've really slowed the run rate down here. Nepal are now going at 6 runs and over. Credit to some good spin bowling and a breakthrough from Akib Ilyas.
The extra fielders don't hurt either.
Yeah, and you know what? Speaking of extra fielders, it's good to see the tactic change from Nepal. Try and use those 6 overs to the advantage. There are only 2 fielders allowed in the deep for the first 6 overs, and it's worked well for them.
That's where you can make some hay.
Into the leg side, and that ball took quite some time to get to the fielder in the deep. I believe that's Kashyap Prajapati in the deep. In the end, they only get 1 run off that delivery. 9 overs gone. Nepal 61 for 3.
TD is supporting cricket in more ways than ever. Because we believe Canada needs more cricket. How's that? TD, ready for you.
Akabilias is going to continue with his second over.
Yeah, we saw Nepal stall out yesterday in the middle overs. They got off to that quick start. They finished strong. Those middle overs, the doldrums of the cricket match, one would say. You got to maintain that intensity, that fire, that aggressiveness.
Saw the spinners have played a very crucial role in most of these games. There is some turn out there for the spinners, and the ball doesn't quite come on as nicely as you expect in these pitches. It's a difficult time. Just makes it a little bit trickier for the batters, and there's quite a bit of spin to come still from Oman. Good looking shot this, going over the infield.